Shalom. I want to start off by saying all praises and honor and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Chakadash. Double honors unto the apostles at GMS, whom I have learned the truth from, who rule well. And salutations unto you Akim and Aquathim that take heed in sincerity and in truth. Coming back once again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Chakadash. We're going to get into, again, man, World War 3, which is the prophecy of all prophecies at the end, because when this third world war happens, that's really it. That's the last Trump, man. What can you say after that, man? That's when the dust settles, man. The Israelites are going to be in their rulership, and they're going to start putting in that work, man, with spiritual power. So I typed in World War 3 in Google, really just to see the news. And because hey, remember, what was it, 2, maybe 3 even now, months ago, that was in the news. That was big in the damn news, man. World War 3, right? What happened now? Oh, it's COVID-19, right? Coronavirus everyone's worrying, right? So you're seeing these prophecies kick off, man, pop off like popcorn. You're seeing these prophecies kick off, and you people don't know what the hell to do, man. You're just taking it for a joke, because really you're in denial. You're in a great sense of denial, and you're in a great sense, you're delusional, really. So I typed in World War 3, and there is no news, okay? No World War 3 scares yet. But you have Wikipedia, and I'm like, I never really looked it up, World War 3 on Wikipedia, so let me see what it says. And I kind of read into it, and I'm going to get into it a little bit. This is World War 3. Right? World War III and the Third World War are names given to a hypothetical third worldwide large-scale military conflict subsequent to World War I and II. Now, let's look up this word hypothetical, right? It goes back to hypothesis, which is a noun. A particular statement, a proposition assumed and taken for granted. And best believe the whole Bible is taken for granted. Really, the Bible is looked upon as a fairy tale book, a book that people just have on their shelf, or their hotel stand, or just to look at, man. But in the scriptures is written the mysteries of what we're living in today. You're actually seeing the Bible live out its prophecies day to day. In today's time, right now, as we're living in today's time, right? From Middle French, hypothèse, and directly from Latin, from Greek, base, groundwork, foundation. Where do you find the foundation? The scriptures. Matter of fact, did not it say Yahushua is the chief cornerstone? And Yahushua comes in the volume of book. It is written of me, right? As the scripture saith, book of Psalms 40, right? Groundwork, foundation, hence, in extended use, basis of an argument, supposition, literally a placing under, from hypo, under, thesis, a placing or proposition. So here they're just saying, look, this is just something that people talk about, or a statement that's made, because there were 2 world wars. People are saying there'll be a third one, and to be honest, it's really not what people say. It's why they say it, and why they say it is because of the scriptures. The scripture says there's going to be a third world war, right? The term has been in use since at least as early as 1941. Some have applied it loosely to refer to limited or smaller conflicts, such as the Cold War or the War on Terror, which those are all manufactured things, especially the War on Terror. That was all made up, man. The Mujahideen, the Taliban, the Al-Qaeda, ISIL, ISIS, all these fucking stupid names, man. That's all backed by U.S. military and their agencies, man. Okay? While others assume that such a conflict would surpass prior world wars, both in its scope and in its destructive impact. Now, what do you see right here? Nuclear warfare is a common theme of World War III scenarios. Such a conflict has been hypothesized, again, Meaning there's a statement being made to result in human extinction. And what do you see right here? Right? You're seeing really the scriptures, man. You're seeing the scriptures. This is Revelation 6. And 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Right? So what would make what is that great earthquake actually? Let's go actually first to the book of I believe Isaiah. Yes, Isaiah 24 and 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. So you see a drunk man in the streets, he's staggering, man. He's doing the stanky legs. You know what I mean? He's going back and forth. And this is how you got to think about it, man. What will make the earth reel to and fro like that, man? It's not a 7.0 earthquake, man. It's not anything that you can think of except the missiles, thermonuclear missiles, or ICBM missiles. Okay? That's the precept for that, right? And it says the sun became black, man. That means, it's going to be so much smoke. You got to think, man. Think about the footage of 9/11. 2 fucking high tower buildings. I used to watch a lot of those footages when I was like 14, 15 of the conspiracies, and I'll be really bamboozled by the footage on the ground. Not so much from afar, but there's actually footage where you can't really find it because it's hard to find. I don't know why. But right when the bomb, when you hear the detonation go off, even the firefighters were like, that sounds like demolition. That sounds like a bomb's going off. And then the whole building just collapsed. Man, when that smoke came, when all that debris came, there were people around the area, around the corner, a few blocks away, and you just seen that fucking, it's like a tsunami of debris just. You better run, man. People ran into the stores. People just ran, and that shit took you, man. And it was just pitch black. And the majority, a lot of those first responders, they either died or are still sick from all that debris that they went in after and try to get survivors or try to help out, man. Because all that shit is filth, man, in your system, in your respiratory system. But the point is, that shit blacked out. Nobody's seen the sun if you were down there. But I'm talking about around the world, man. The sun shall be black. Verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, which that represents the missiles, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. That mighty wind is the missiles. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. So this is what you're looking at, the scroll, right here. The scroll, man. This is what you're looking at. And this is the end of America. This is the end of Esau's kingdom, right? This is the end of this man's kingdom, man. This is it. That's all you're looking at, man. The scroll right here, right? And how are these islands, again, what is this talking about? If every mountain and island were moved out of their places, what kind of force can do that? Actually, there's a scripture in the book of Isaiah 64. Let me just go. Isaiah 64 and 2, verse 1. Oh, that thou wouldest rend the heavens, mean rip, destroy. And the heavens, when people read this again, they're not understanding, because what this is going into, the heavens, you have 3 heavens. You know, when the scripture speaks about heavens, everything under this firmament or atmosphere, what Esau calls, is the first heaven, this kingdom. So when this means rend this to heavens, the Most High is going to destroy everything under this firmament, everything under the planet, or under the heavens, meaning this kingdom, basically, this whole all these governments, all these powers. That thou wouldest come down, that the mountains might flow down at thy presence. The mountains, again, going into what? Governments. When you have meetings between superpowers and different governments, what do they call it? They call it a summit meeting, or a summit. When you look up the word summit, a summit is the highest point of a mountain. Okay? Verse 2, as when the melting fire burneth, the fire causeth the waters to boil, to make thy name known to thine adversaries, that the nations may tremble at thy presence. You see that, man? That's powerful, man. That's all powerful right there. So it said the damn waters are gonna melt, man, because the Lord, he's gonna actually do this. I was gonna say he can. I said he will do this. Wisdom of Solomon 19. This is a bad scripture, man. This is going into Sodom and Gomorrah, right? This is the Most High's power when he brought down Sodom and the Gomorrah, and there's 5 cities really, so 3 more cities. But this is that fire, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon 19 and 18. For the elements were changed in themselves by a kind of harmony, like as in a psaltery notes change the name of the tune. You have different notes, right? If you play the piano or guitar, you have different notes on the string or the piano, again, going into what? Different vibrations. You have the high notes, the low bass notes, the middle notes, key notes, right? So the Most High, he was playing that shit like man, that's crazy, man. That means he had some heat that was all right. Then he had some fire heat, you know. But this heat that's coming is pure energy, man. You know, it says, and yet are always sounds which may well be perceived by the sight of the things that have been done. For earthly things were turned into watery, and the things that before swam in the water now went upon the ground. See that? The fire had power in the water, forgetting his own virtue, and the water forgot his own quenching nature, man. That means the fire was burning in the water, and it was actually melting up the water, man. That's how hot it was. And that's what's coming to this place, man. Right? Because this is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. So what kind of destruction do you think the Most High set up for this place, man? If this is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, if this is Babylon the Great, all these different kingdoms amalgamated into one, Moses has a great judgment coming to this place, man. On the other side, the flames wasted not the flesh of the corruptible living things, though they walked therein, neither melted they the icy kind of heavenly meat that was of nature apt to melt. Right? And yeah, man, that was the point. But that just shows you the power of the Most High, man. Why you should fear the Lord, man. That's powerful right there. So with that, I want to say Kal Halalim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles of GMS who rule well, who have learned the truth from, and salutations unto you, Akim and Aquathim, that take heed, sincerity and in truth. Until next time, Lord's will, let's say Shalom.